The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. Who do you think it is? I think, yeah, Celeste has a big role in this because she was like running us all around. Like I said before, she was running us all around the high school in the beginning, so that we were constantly in the wrong place at the wrong time. And like, if that's true, that there's like a hole in the rec room. Well, but then also there's, yeah, if there's a hole in the rec room, maybe there's a passage between like the rec room and the equipment room. Like Celeste would be the one to find it because she hangs out in the rec room. She likes games and shit. I don't know. Celeste is super fucking sus. But there could also be two murderers. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. More information will come out during the trial. The elevator doors slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you. Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I'll never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break.
Yahoo!
I'd never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. Last thing I'll say is, I don't know how or why, but maybe I feel like Hifu was planning on killing Taka. And Hifu did kill Taka. Hifu is the one that killed Taka. But Celeste was... Celeste, like, kind of knew what was going on. And so she capitalized on her knowledge of the plot that Hifu had to kill Taka to also ultimately kill Hifu. And then pin both murders on Hiro. Something like that also could have happened. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Would I like to save? Yes, please. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Josh, with your adulting. We just went through all the truth bullets. Set skills. We have cool and compose now. What does this do? Steadies your aim a little. Effective during the non-stop debate and the hangman's gambit. Costs 2. Too bad I'm 1 short. Breathing technique. The focus gauge recovers more quickly. Effective during... I never use my focus to like slow time down. Which one of these is most useless? Not sure. We'll just keep everything, I think. Okay. Hey, Sparky, welcome. Good timing.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hero, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit.
When did
Parts we
Celeste go
assume
into
were used to
Hero's
build it.
room? As far as we knew, like only me and Bianca knew about going into Hero's room to check.
And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
Is Hero really the killer, or before anything else, we have to make that clear. Hero's message.
Everything.
Which is this one, yeah. This is the note that Hero wrote to get everyone to meet in the dining hall. Meet me in the dining hall is all it says. The handwriting is remarkably neat and clear.
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Oh, which one was I supposed to fucking shoot? Really? I mean, looking at the blueprints, that handwriting is awful messy. Okay. If I remember right, Hero's handwriting is neat and clean.
Everything
Okay.
we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit part.
Okay.
No, that's wrong.
I was confused. I was waiting for something more relevant to pop
Are we
up.
sure Hero really made those blueprints?
Okay, but this makes sense, I guess.
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So, Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hero's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hero said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course, he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual. The Illuminati. Hina. I guess we'll say Hero, because the other answers don't really work, I think.
Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hero is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hero didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hero was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It
It
would
was the
seem that
dolly,
his
right?
corpse was moved using certain particular items.
The tarp and the
Makoto,
dolly.
can you tell us what they were?
Things that were used to move Taka's body. They must have been both of these, right? We'll do the dolly first.
I got it!
I feel like either one could work. There's still one more thing. The thing. Okay. All right. Thanks.
I got it!
All right. Word.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository...
Oh, I thought this was... Oh, you know what? I thought I turned off the Apollo cam. But because I made it... Oop, not that one. But because I made a new source for it, I think I need to redo the macro for that.
So did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
What, Celeste?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an
Are
objection.
you gaslighting
How
me,
do you
Celeste?
respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all
damn,
accepted
girl.
the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
This fucking bitch. I solved the first 2 trials. Basically 80% me on the first 2 trials. Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. A new element has been added to... Oh my god, you're fucking kidding me. Are you serious? More game mechanics. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the Y button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the X button, which would be square for me. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the square button in time with the tempo marker. Oh my god. Just remembered that the square button now has a function along with X and triangle. Okay. You'll automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. I forget what button is fever time. Will it show me here? It won't. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to... It's not. Good luck and have fun. Oh boy. Okay. How much ammo do... Okay.
You have it wrong! I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
God, those parts are so fucking hard. Especially when it goes the negative
asking
part.
for proof
You
that
can't
the
see
dolly
the
moved,
tempo markers.
I have it right here.
That it gets so hard, you guys.
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
There we go.
There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread.
Yeah, why are you trying to gaslight me, dumb bitch?
The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If we look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Okay. Robo Justice costume. It's gonna be about, like, bending in half to use the dolly.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Right?
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Ah, fuck me. Sorry. Is it?
As we know,
Taka was killed, and from there,
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp,
It's not
then
that, is
loaded
it?
it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
That's the one, right? Because the... Okay, it makes
now,
perfect
keep
sense.
in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Okay,
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all
maybe it
you
was that
have
one.
to do is
okay,
bend
it's
over.
this one. Thank you. Thank you, Mia.
No, that's wrong. You're absolutely right that
By the
you
way-
could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
Is it just me? But, so whenever you, like, fire a truth bullet, it flashes red and it says counter behind you, right? Because you're making a counter argument. It says counter. But the ER is hidden behind your head, so you just see count. And whenever I see that pop up on the screen, I always think it goes, cunt! Like you're calling the person a cunt.
But if you were wearing that suit,
Like,
do you
instead
think
of objection,
you could actually get into a position like that?
instead of yelling objection, you're yelling, no, you dumb cunt.
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here, can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
We just said you can't see your
When you
feet.
can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance that the costume is taken off just to move the body because once it's on, you can't take it off by yourself. Yeah.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. Little help. Why'd you make something that you can't take off by yourself? Didn't make the stupid freaking thing. It's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from you getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own, but you don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect him.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, Whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo-Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hina, you are dumb as shit.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library.
Yeah, right. Nice alibi. Oh, I was unconscious for an hour. Also, I took this picture while I was unconscious or whatever. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the timing of when this picture was taken. I feel like maybe Hifu conspired with Celeste so that he could kill Taka. It seems like very on brand for Hifu to like make up this Robo-Justice character. But then after Hifu killed Taka, Celeste killed Hifu. And is trying to pin it all on Hiro. I feel like that's the general story here, but I could be wrong.
He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
Saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. Yeah, like, saying she faked that scream. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. Yeah, she's lying about that. She's lying about that.
and then...
What was that? Came from downstairs. Must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect.
There was no suspect
When we
for
got
them
back
to
to the
find,
nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead.
but not quite dead because he later rose. he later woke up to say it was Hiro.
And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
So, like, yeah, I think I had this thought before, but I didn't say it super clear. I think that when we found Hifu's body dead in the infirmary, when we found him, like, we had the whole, like, death scene play out. You know, how, like, there's, like, that special animation that plays out when you find a body. And then we got the dead body was found notification from Monokuma. And I think that dead body was found notification was not for Hifu. It was for Sakura, Toko, and Byakuya finding Taka's body. Because when we found Hifu, he wasn't actually dead. He was just playing dead. When we found him in the infirmary, at least. And then when we found both bodies later on in the repository, we got another dead body announcement. Because that time when we found Hifu, he was actually dead. But he was, like, with his dying breath, was able to, like, point us towards Hiro for some reason. I don't know. But I think I'm might be right on that train of thought. This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
Let's see, how could she discover the bodies in the repository if the repository was locked? It has to be Celeste.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
You're telling me, girl.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Agreed.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Okay.
So,
The victims were you and you. The cause of death for each was a blow to the head. It is thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon. That's our 1 bullet, but we might need to use a...
I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that
Fuck, I
Hifumi
missed.
was killed with Justice
God
Hammer
damn it.
3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
The Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So,
Regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Okay, so I don't shoot it with that.
Shoot!
Maybe I Maybe I do one of these.
Or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka
Shit,
came
how
last.
do I... That's how you do it.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering.
It's true that Hifumi
was killed with while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious.
Alright, there's not
Taka
many
came-
options here. I either shoot,
So,
either use this truth
regarding
bullet to
Taka's,
I
shoot.
wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were
I think
killed
I do
in.
this.
Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Oh my god, I fucking... You gotta be shitting me.
While Taka's death,
See? So it's obvious Taka came.
Just let me do the thing I want to
I
do.
wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
what makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Got it, okay,
No,
thank god.
that's wrong.
Gunt! I think that literally every time I see that
Hold on.
since the beginning of the
There's
game.
no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Something that relates to what time he must have died, right? His wristwatch. Hangman's Gambit, okay. Okay, wristwatch, got it. Looking for an eye. Oh, give it to me. Oops. Give me an A. That the last Hangman's Gambit, when the answer was schizo, was like really hard for me. I got it. Okay.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
it must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Yeah. Flashback, he looks at his watch, says it's 10 o'clock.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
Yeah. I think that he's faking dead here.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
I've got like 5 self-destructing cassette tapes. Just throwing that out there.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have
it's not
rock-solid alibis
unsound.
for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, Clearly, none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what?
So what now,
Okay.
Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though, so then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Called it a million years ago.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Oh, isn't it, Celeste? The idea that Hifumi was still alive, is it really possible? Sure is. We're gonna use the glasses wiping thing. Broken wristwatch. What? Why is this our bullet? Maybe we use something else.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Fuck, I forgot how do I switch bullets? Left button. It's not
Surely
letting me
you heard the body discovery
switch.
announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's
I don't
a chance
think we
he was
use-
actually still alive?
No. It
I'm not sure how we're doing this, but I'm pretty sure we don't use the broken wristwatch truth bullet. I think we make a flashback
Hifumi
bullet.
was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that
How? Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Sorry.
Shoot!
Okay. 2.5 hearts here.
Are you saying that when we first...
There's a chance he was actually still alive?
No.
It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body
Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Okay.
Shoot!
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance?
So I just used that truth bullet. There's 3 orange phrases here in this sequence. I just used the first. Yeah.
No.
So the only
Hifumi
other
was dead, and you know that
combination
surely
using
you heard the
flashback
body
bullets could
discovery and
be
Hifumi's dead body
this.
had been found. And that is why the...
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's
But that's
discovery.
not it. Okay, so then maybe I do use the wristwatch bullet. That's the only combination of flashback bullets that I could use, right? Because, yeah. That's the only combination of flashback bullets that I could use. So I have to use the wristwatch. Because there's 3 orange phrases here. 1, 2, and 3. I captured number 1 as a flashback bullet and used it on number 2 and 3, and neither worked. And then I captured number 2 and used it on number 3, and that didn't work. So I have to, and you can't like go backwards in order.
Are you saying that when we first found
So how does the broken watch? I feel like I'm being a dumb.
There's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is Hifumi was dead. Without it, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovery announced Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Fuck, game over. Great.
Shoot!
GG. All right. I love this. How if you fail, everybody just turns on you. Everybody votes for you, Makoto, because you were being an asshole during the trial. like just because you keep saying wrong things, everybody in the class votes for you and dismisses all other evidence. Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
Okay. What did I just used the I just used it on the last one, right? So hold on, let's try it on the second one.
Are you saying that when we first... There's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. How? Surely you heard the body discovery announced Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Shoot!
Okay.
Are you saying that when we first... There's a chance he was actually still alive?
Did I not just use every possible combination of bullets?
Are you saying that when we first... There's a chance he was...
No. It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body, and that is...
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I just used every... Hey, Cleric, how's it going? Did I not just use every single combination of like firing a bullet at an orange phrase that I possibly could? I am legitimately confused. Unless I can...
Are you saying that when we first found...
Okay, I definitely just used this broken wristwatch bullet on all three key phrases.
There's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible.
And then I tried this one on the following 2, but it didn't work on either.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovered Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really so... Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
If I do that and carry on to the next, like let it loop back around, I can keep it. Okay. Okay, hold on.
There's a chance he was actually still alive?
Alright, well that's not it. We're just gonna game over again.
Shoot!
Okay, I didn't realize that if you capture a flashback bullet, you can like loop it back around. But then that means that the last combination...
There's a chance he was actually...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that.
The last
surely
combination
you heard the
that's
body
possible.
discovery announced Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Oh no, there's... Yeah.
And
'Cause
that is why. Are we really so? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone
okay,
else's
we
discovery.
loop it around, and then this is the last
Are you saying
possible
that when
thing
we
I could
first
fire
found
at.
Hifumi in the there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Nope. Hey, John, how's it going? Okay, I have no idea. Clearly, I must have missed something, but in my brain, I have used every single, by process of elimination, I've used every possible combination that I possibly could. I've fired every bullet at every phrase that I possibly could. I'm at a complete loss here. I don't understand. Or, no, I didn't. Did I not? Hold on. Yeah, failed, whatever. Don't give a shit. Did I not capture the last one and use that one? Yeah, great.
I refuse to give up yet.
Okay.
Are you saying that when we first there's a
I
chance
used
he
this
was
first
actually
phrase
still
and used them on the other
Hifumi was
two.
dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. The Hifumi's
I used
dead
this
body
one
had
and
been
used it on
found.
the other
That
two.
is- are
I don't
we
think
really?
I don't think I
Maybe the
actually
announcement was
used
intended
this
to
one.
signal someone else's discovery.
I don't think I used this one on the.
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Now try it on what Celeste says.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he was
No. It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. The Hifumi's dead, and that is.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh my god, I didn't. Come on.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. The Hifumi's dead, and that is.
Are we really so sure about? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
there's a chance he was
No.
Okay.
It is Hifumi
Use
was
it
dead,
on
and you
this
know
one.
that. How?
And this
Surely
is the
you heard
last
the
thing
body
that I could
discover
do.
Hifumi's dead body.
Oh my god. Yeah. Fucking. I'm so annoyed. Like that. Like I get it. You know. I get that there's a contradiction here. That, you know, like I, Sparky, know. We're arguing that Hifu could have been alive when we found him, and the message just played for when the other three found Taka's body. I get that. It's just a matter of figuring out which bullet do I use on which phrase. And that part can be really tricky and frustrating. And I got extremely frustrated for the same reason in the last trial, too. And it's just trial and error. Okay, it's not that one. Okay, it's not that one. Okay, is it this one? Nope, it's not that one.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that
I also did. I don't think they explained at all that if you capture a flashback bullet, that it carried. I just assumed that when it loops back to the start, you lose it, and like the whole thing just starts over again. I didn't realize that you could carry it
That's
to like.
right. It wasn't long after finding
loop it
his
back.
body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we made a mistake in there somewhere.
Okay.
I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
Yeah, like I Sparky got that a million years ago.
First of all,
it's just a matter
if two
of
bodies
okay,
had
how
been
do
found,
I?
there really should have been
Which-
two announcements.
Which pair do I match up? That's the tricky part, and it's frustrating.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again.
And when we went to the repository, where we found both bodies, he made the announcement.
If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. And the second time was when both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it!
Yeah.
We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom! That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body.
Hardly, Bella.
Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Why is it pointless, Celeste? You know we're onto you. There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. The cleaning his glasses, right? There it is, yeah.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved,
What dumb shit are you about to say?
other than the change in how it was positioned,
Fuck. She's gonna say nothing was different.
Shoot!
Okay. Shot prematurely.
Well, here's one.
Whoops.
The first time we found him, and then his body disappeared.
And the next time it was in.
But when you compare his body before being,
other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
You cunt!
No, that's wrong!
I'm so glad that I shared that.
In fact,
That's what
there
I've
was
been
one
seeing
clear
every single
difference
time.
between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood.
Oh, I also just realized, I was thinking like, wait, if he was faking it, then where did all the blood come from? And then I realized in the infirmary, there's bags of blood. So he could have like gone into the blood fridge, taken out a sack of blood, poured it all over himself.
But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning
Fella,
cloth
fuck.
featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
the character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is...
Who's dumber, Hiro
What
or
exactly?
Hina? Who's dumber?
What I'm
Probably
saying
Hiro.
is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
Said that forever ago.
That's a good point.
True, Luno-san.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet.
Yeah, true, Bella.
And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge of blood in the same room.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
There it is.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done.
Somebody needs to take
What
those
an
scissors
idiot.
away from you.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
You can't? This is our 3rd trial, and they've all had some crazy
If
twists
you're
like
having
that.
trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed.
Hit us, Kyoko.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Thing that Hifumi stole from Taka. Could it be the note? This.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes. His pants.
Yes.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. And take a look at what the note says.
Found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
Yeah, we've done this before, right, Bella? We've gone further than that before.
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants. Wait, shit. What did he say? In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. Taka.
I got it!
Okay.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Heard the
Just
nicknames.
to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Why must you bring your scissors to a courtroom? Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, I can't let her get to me. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Fuck.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
Hold on.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Give me it. There we go.
No, that's wrong.
First try, guys.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
To hide evidence.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka. The ripped scrap of paper. This one.
I got it!
Hey, what's going on,
When I
Katsuki-chan?
searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After
Whoa,
seeing all
bro.
this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
This dude is so brain
Sorry,
dead.
no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
Not completely, because he came back to life for a second.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling
Walrus.
a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi,
We've got something for this hero.
then
Just
put the hammer back where they found it.
waiting for you to shut up.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Just waiting
So
for the
then,
game to...
what was used to kill Hifumi?
Let me pick the thing. The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow, I have to find the truth. I have the fucking mallet. The mallet that was cleaned. There it is. Okay, thank you. Yo, this song is the best one in the game, by the way.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Do I shoot
Was
there?
it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around
Oops.
How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Fuck. I could really, like, shoot any of those things.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
This. The spotless hammer. Like, oh my god. This is the only part of the game that I really dislike. I get it. I'm, you know, a step ahead of the game. I know the answer. I get it. It's just a matter of matching up the bullet with the right phrase. And like, it gives you, it's like an SAT question where there can be multiple right answers, but one of them is the most right answer. You know what I mean? This is like, I love this game so much, but this part is exceptionally frustrating.
What was used to... Was it Justice? Maybe Justice...
Well, whatever it was,
See,
there's
I could
one
also
thing.
use
How
it-
was the culprit able... How did no...
See, like, I could shoot this one too, and it would also make sense. How could nobody witness them carrying it? Because the murder weapon was in the room with the bodies, but I'm gonna shoot it, it's gonna be wrong. You know? This is the part that's extremely frustrating. I have a bullet. I have one bullet. And it works on, like, literally every one of these orange phrases. Like, you can say that it works on all of them, but no, one of them is more right.
What was used? Was it just... Maybe Justice...
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody witness?
Sounds like a Justice
that
Hammer.
one.
Check out
Not that one.
murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice...
Okay.
No, that's wrong.
I think a good practice to get into maybe would be like in those I think a good practice to get into is to let the whole thing play out instead of like firing off prematurely. Like, make sure to just watch the whole round go by so that I see every single phrase that's said, so that I can pick out like, okay, this one seems the most right to me, you know? I think that's a practice that I just need to adopt. The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
Seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the justice hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together
Oh
with
my
him.
god, Celeste, we've been on to you since before the trial started.
The way the graduation
arguing.
rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
Unless you're gonna kill them once their murder is done.
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... Okay, let's watch the whole thing play out first before we shoot anything. We have the spotless hammer bullet again, but maybe we end up using a flashback bullet.
Based on the
Okay, it's a
rules that
short
have
one.
been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Fuck. Okay.
Shoot.
So I use the spotless hammer thing.
Based on the rules that have been, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried
hold on.
out, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply
I think I get it.
That is
I think I
That
get it.
only really applies if there's one murder. In this case, however, there were two
I
murders.
take this one. I think I grabbed it. Can we really say there's no chance two people work together on this? Okay.
Based
yeah.
on the rules
And then I
that have
use
even
this
if more than
on
one only
her
the one who
impossible
actually
claim.
carried out the act can graduate, assuming the rule holds true.
There it is.
No, that's wrong.
Okay. Yeah, exactly, Bella.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering.
People.
Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
I love you so much, Bella. Thank you.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
Yeah, I don't mean to brag, but my IQ is at least 101.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
I don't know, maybe the degenerate, lifeless, soulless gambler
You think
in the
so?
room.
I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end, moited him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Do I pick now?
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
And I just realized it makes perfect sense that Celeste would choose Hifumi because Hifumi worships her. I forgot about that. That whole scene where she like had him fetch her tea and he was like super submissive. It makes perfect sense that Celeste would that Hifumi would want to work with Celeste.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What it is that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common, encountering the suspicious individual. Also the screaming, but yeah, encountering the suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
You guys, Apollo's being real cute right now.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Hina, this is our third trial. You should be used to people
After taking
lying
Hifumi
to get
to the
away with
nurse's
murder.
office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen.
I'm gonna miss that face. Yes, she got a fried egg for her brain, true. She got donuts for brains. I'm gonna miss that face right there. The wide-eyed, open-mouth face from Celeste. I'm gonna miss that specifically. I don't know, I just love that face.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
That's Hifu screaming from the infirmary.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
And why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you can come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
Yeah, I agree, Vela. The series of events the series of events was much more convoluted. But like in this one as opposed to the last one, but like figuring out, you know, trying to like assemble the picture of everything that happened in our head was easier this time as opposed to last one. The last one went like all crazy weird directions that you absolutely didn't expect.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we are on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
I don't remember. They must really be enjoying this, enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room.
He's gonna say because, like, how could she have known that Taka was dead? But, I mean, that line could also just be interpreted as those guys, meaning Hifumi and all the past dead people.
Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
I get it, but I disagree with that, because you could, like I just said, you could interpret that comment to mean those guys, just like those guys died, like, yeah, Hifumi and all the rest that have died previously.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Yakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to? Best song in the game. How am I using this one?
They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Okay, well, that's the important part.
Shoot!
I have one health left. Okay.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
That, or do I reverse it? Okay,
Shoot.
well, I just got a game over. Yo, 420 on the timer. Let's go. Ah, too late. Okay. All right. I think I reversed those two. I take his so strange comment and use it on the those guys part.
I refuse to give up yet.
Okay. So fast forward.
All I said, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's odd. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Okay.
All I said, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
There we go. Okay.
No, that's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer.
Okay.
In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
Nah,
if everything
not if
I
y'all
told you was a lie,
conspired together.
how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away.
I got it!
Okay.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away.
Okay, that makes sense. I hadn't thought of that, but
I
that
would
makes
say
perfect
it's a
sense.
picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
He's heavy, so he's sweating.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Damn, girl. Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Oh boy. Okay.
You dressed me up.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, hold up. This is a lot. Okay. All right. All right, we're just gonna watch it, see everything
Then
that's
you
said.
just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
It's that. Okay.
No, that's wrong.
Because you can't bend over in the costume. You've been over this, Celeste.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot.
Oh,
What
shit.
do you mean, checkmate?
That's a face.
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hey, Ifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right, I remember. Their name, Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
So, okay. First of all, he's, he worships and is completely subservient to Celeste. So it would make sense that he would want her to live on, even if it meant she killed him. Second of all, he was also talking about something else too. He was talking about before they all met. And it could have been in that. It could have been irrelevant to who killed
He
him.
said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
He was talking about I remember before we all met here.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements
What?
don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko,
Goddamn, girl.
what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said people's last names.
I got it!
That's true. He
That's
would only
right.
use our last
Our
names.
last names. He called us all by our last names.
I didn't realize
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation?
that. Byakuya shutting Genocide Jill the fuck up.
No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal.
I mean, he did just experience a brain injury. He just experienced head trauma.
But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Is Celeste said her name is Celeste Ludenberg. Is that made up? Is her last name Yasuhiro?
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
There it is.
What did you just say? To think
You take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic
And this
blather!
is-
Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser?
You do. This is where this finally comes in. It is believed that no handbooks were involved in carrying out the murders this time. Kyoko said that it might be used in the trial, though. We can ask Celeste to open her e-handbook and show everybody her real name. And that's going to be the nail in the coffin.
Well? Do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. E-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Oh, don't
No,
I?
that's wrong.
Ya cunt. Got her.
That's it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Yeah. Handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So
Et
all we
cetera.
have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
You're on trial for murder.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please. Just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Are you gonna do the comic book? Okay. This is gonna be hard. Oh god. This one's gonna be real hard. Wait, why do we have... Okay, well, we know automatically that this one is not needed. Okay. So, Hifumi and Celeste are talking in her room. And then... And then what? Oh my god. It could be like fucking any... It could be like anything. It could be that, it could be this. It could be that. I don't know, we're going with that one. Wait, okay, this comic book part is super difficult. It's 1 o'clock. So this is Hiro meeting them in the rec room, right? And then Yeah, no need to backseat game. I'll let you know if I need help. Lunar Song. Don't worry about it. Take the picture of this happening, of him carrying. Yeah, they dress him up, get him ready, take the picture. Okay, and then that's him checking. Oops. Taka's checking his watch. Then you come in with hammer 4. Gifu does. Hits him. And then starts wrapping him up with the tarp, I guess. Sure. So this is Celeste showing the camera in the picture. We go to the library where we find Hifu. And I don't remember which mallet. I think it was hammer 2. Right, because Celeste was when Celeste was attacked, she had hammer 1 by her. Then when we found Hifu, he had hammer 2 by him. And then when we find Hifu dead again, he had hammer 3, or playing dead in the infirmary, he had hammer 3, and then Taka had hammer 4 by him. Wait, so hammer 4 might be that. It could be either of those. It could be either. Yeah, no. This makes more sense because he hides the body later. Okay. Hey, how's it going, Ultimate? What's going on? Yeah, this one's been a roller coaster, to say the least. I'm kind of the comic book section here is a real struggle. Otherwise, like during the trial, I've been able to like piece together in my head like how the whole thing played out. But there have been a couple moments where like just figuring out where like I get what the concept is, but figuring out like what bullet to use on which phrase has been tricky. So yeah, we're at this one. And yeah, this comic book section's a little bit tricky. Okay, he takes the the blood. I like this panel right here. That's funny. Rubs, and then this one's probably this, because he leaves Justice Hammer 3 by himself. Okay, we all find his body. They find Taka at the same time. Okay, then this is the part where we use this one. Yeah. Hifu's pushing the body away. Okay. Hifu makes it to the repository. Celeste is there. Kills Hifu. Oops. I guess that makes the most sense. Okay. Okay. These two are obviously not used in this. There's absolutely no way, because these were used in these were from different trials. The chips are not. Oh, I didn't realize I could scroll slowly like this. Okay. Anything could be here, right? Like it's either Hifu sweating at Celeste, the chips or the bag, but I don't know, showing his expression just seems more significant than the chips or the bag, you know? Anyways,
the killer is you!
See how we do.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
I like that we get a little glimpse of Celeste's room in here. Okay, that was right. Okay.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Good.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker.
Ever since we first made it since the pool was unlocked after the first trial, I've been waiting for that fucking locker at the back of the pool to have a purpose, and I'm so happy that I can stop obsessively checking it now.
And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents.
Yeah, Vela, isn't that weird that was never brought up? Like, that was an issue for me from the very beginning, when she was like, hey, look at this picture I took, by the way. Nobody ever thought, like, hey, when did you... Nobody thought to ask, even during the trial, hey, when exactly did you take that picture? If you were knocked out by the robot. You know? The timing of that picture, nobody thought to question it.
For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and
good.
Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office, and once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Oh, she doesn't like to lose.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words?
Bella. Yeah, she is pretty big brain for that whole plan. It is true. I mean, yes and no. Because I suspected Celeste from the very beginning. Like, literally, like, once everything started kicking off. Like, from the moment that... How did it all start? People were late to the breakfast meeting, and then we waited for an hour, still nobody else came, and we went up and found Celeste, like, beat up in the rec room. I immediately was like, nah, this bitch is up to something, because she's too smart. She wouldn't, like, you know, turn her back and, like, leave herself vulnerable to an attack. And so, yeah, I mean, like, I was onto her immediately, as the moment we found her. And then, like, every time she was like, oh, I saw a shadow at the top, I'm like, no, you didn't. When she did that scream to lure us up to the 3rd floor, I'm like, she's just having us run over the school for reasons. Yeah. True, tacos, true. But yeah, it was a good plan. The what's it called? The last trial, I didn't see how it, like, I couldn't foresee, like, how things were gonna end up in the last trial at all. I found the last one to be, like, way trickier to piece together. Anyways.
They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Ooh. Yeah, accent gone.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Oh, okay, I guess I don't have to do one of those, what are they called, like, bullet time things? I got a C on one. That's funny. Yeah, I don't deserve these A grades. I had 2 game overs again. That's the most points I've ever gotten, though, but I think it was also the most, like, parts. Phase 13. I don't think there's ever been 13 phases. Yeah, it's just those fucking sections where, like, I know it. I know the answer. I understand what the game is getting at. It's just, okay, which bullet do I use on which phrase? And, like, there's multiple right answers that you can say, but one of them is the most right. And it's just, that's just so frustrating. Yeah, give me that money. I need it. I'm broke as fuck right now. Spending all my money.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Oops. I'm excited to see what this this punishment is going to be. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. Yo, for this girl, he absolutely would have. I'm sure she relied on her speciality, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then?
Then did you use, you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice,
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean she talking about alter ego? Oh, okay.
Say what?
I mean, yeah, that made sense to me why Hifu would want to kill Taka. I figured that was the reason why, yeah. I'd also bathe in fake blood for her. I bet you would, Bella, I bet you would. What? What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt, we're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words.
Then you're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
Okay. And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. I figured it would just be because Hifumi was, like, worshipping her. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it had disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. Oh, this is Hifumi's room, look. Look at the outfit on the back. It's the pudgy princess thing. And there's just figurines everywhere. He also has a pudgy princess pillowcase, you can see. Oh man, that's great. Oh, what are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
what? Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
So then,
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. Look at his room. Oh my god. It's perfect. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
as for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me. He did.
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. Oh my god. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but...
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. God damn. This fucking psycho. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life.
Completely unforgivable!
I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you will be playing right into his hands.
Actually...
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target. What? Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try to kill you. Yo, right, Vela?
Indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard.
Completely unforgivable!
Bastard, 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 bastard.
Honestly.
Can we allow him to... There's a word missing there. Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She...
I swear I will save her!
Actually...
Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens I've come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. We also knew, like, the moment, like, the first time we spoke to this girl, we knew that she was going to be one of the blackened, right? Like, you just know. You just know that she's going to kill somebody. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me. True.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Going down swinging. She's right, though. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end...
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. Okay.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Bianca.
I wonder about that.
She's always talked like this, you guys. Why are you so surprised? No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then, what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But...
All along, you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously, that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one, more than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical
As
killing.
for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. What's going on, Jill? A castle? Oh my god. And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Yeah, this tracks. This tracks. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. Yeah, apparently, Nikame. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes,
That's
indeed.
right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey,
You just get executed again. Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself, it must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
You all done? Okay, then let's get rolling. The Blacken disturbed the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Oh boy. Let's
I
see.
guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is... Okay, it's to the locker.
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why...
You could have just waited like 2 days and to see,
Actually, it's not important.
but instead you went to kill somebody.
Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In
All right.
another life.
Appreciate that, Jill. Let's see it. What do we got? Psycho bitch is smiling. She got her castle. Ooh, look at that. The burning of the Versailles witch. Oh my god. She deserves it. Big yikes. I think, I've said this before on stream, that I think that burning alive would be the worst way to die, in my opinion. It's slow and excruciatingly painful, it seems. She don't care though. I think, yeah, people always say that. Oh, but what about drowning? Drowning would be quicker. Drowning would be way quicker. And it's like, it's just pain in your lungs as opposed to fire where like it's on every single inch of your body and you feel yourself melting from the outside in over a longer period of time. That's funny. So she didn't burn to death. She got hit by a fire truck. Sure. It's great. Oh, Apollo's not here. Let's take care of that. Boom. Nope, wrong one. Fuck. That one. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. I didn't, Makoto. You're a dumb cunt. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass a torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not, and it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh, how exciting.
Interesting. Oh man, oh geez. Oh man, oh geez. What do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body. What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well?
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything special about it. Why did I just throw in the word special there? Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair, there was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's the key that Celeste gave you? What do you think, you fucking idiot? Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check.
indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey.
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later. Why exactly are you going alone?
So...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us. Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together. Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
We shall.
So then,
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
You really came.
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? I ship it. It's safe, thank goodness. I'd never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time.
So,
Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon, maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school?
you...
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. That just makes me even more worried. Yo, how many chapters are gonna pass before we learn a single detail about this chick?
what?
Worried? Like, what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation, when you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No. I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me, and I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you just a little bit more. Then?
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action. That's a cheap narrative trick. I don't like that.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it, and in the storage closet there, way in the back, she said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? What trick? The trick of like we're experiencing everything that Makoto is experiencing, but just for the sense of suspense, we the reader, the player, the narrator like withholds information about what Makoto just learned for us, the player, to learn later. Like it's like a very cheap cliffhanger in literature and just in any kind of media, because it doesn't fall in line with the behavior of the narrator up until now, and it doesn't like sync up with the narration of the. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It makes sense to me because it's a thing, but explaining it is difficult. Everything that Makoto experiences, like we the player also experience and learn, but then like just for suspense, it's withheld from us, for no reason. You get it? And it's just because like it would be okay if like the narration was like that for the whole game, where like there were multiple periods where like we black out or something. But like, yeah, if you ever like are reading a book or you're just experiencing any story and they throw you a cliffhanger like that, it's just a stupid cheap trick and I don't like it. All right, should we go see what's in the storage before we take off? We'll do it. We'll see what's in the bathroom storage. Oh, it's midnight. Interesting. Yeah, you get it, Vela. You get it. And it's a tool that writers have used forever. And it's dumb when they use it. All right, yeah, we'll check out what's in the storage, but I'm gonna wrap up probably like when we get to the next morning. What do we got? All right, take care, Batman. Again, hope you have a better day. Hope things pick up for you. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. The secret Kyoko told me about, could it really be hidden here? Yeah, it's been a long stream. And we got to a good breaking point. She said it was way in the back of the storage closet, but I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I were being yanked in, secret passage. Gushunk! At the same time I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. Ba-bump. Look at this. I had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out the back wall was like a revolving door, and I'd made my way to the other side, just like Kyoko has said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet, and way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room, but what's in here? Neat. We have a stool. It's just a normal desk with normal drawers. There's a bunch of files and what looks like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave. What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? A strange sound rang out through my head. It felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth, and then darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Ow. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. I imagine it was whoever's working with the bear. The dull throbbing pain in my head proved that much, at least. All right. And that is where we're gonna leave it.